Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan. Whether you're a first-time listener or one of our regulars, welcome to Speak Up. Today's episode is all about a topic many English learners care deeply about: how to improve your English accent. But don't worry, we're not here to make you sound like a native speaker. This is about speaking clearly, being understood, and feeling more confident when you speak.
Hi, everyone. I'm Priya, and I'm so happy you're here. We know that sometimes people feel shy or nervous because of their accent. But here's the truth. Your accent is part of your identity, and the goal isn't to erase it. The goal is to make sure your English is easy to understand. That's where accent improvement comes in. It helps you speak naturally and connect with others more smoothly.
Exactly. When people can understand you without effort, you feel more relaxed and speak more freely. And the best part? You don't need expensive classes to start improving. Just a few simple, smart techniques can make a big difference. And we're going to share 5 of the best ones today, step by step.
So, if you've ever thought, I wish I sounded clearer when I speak English, then stay with us. You're going to get some super practical tips you can try right after this episode. And trust us, you'll hear the difference in your voice soon. Ready? Let's dive in.
Now that we've talked about why improving your accent really matters, let's jump into the first technique. It's called the shadowing technique, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful tools for accent training. The idea is super simple. You listen to a native speaker and then repeat what they say immediately, like a shadow following them. You copy not just the words, but also the rhythm, tone, and even their pauses. Think of it like acting. You're stepping into their voice for a few seconds.
Exactly, Ryan. And the best part is, you can do this anytime. Watch a scene from a movie, listen to a short podcast, or even use a YouTube video where someone's speaking clearly. Pause after one sentence, then repeat it out loud. Don't worry if it's not perfect in the beginning. The key is to keep practicing. With time, your English listening practice will improve, and so will your ability to sound more natural when you speak.
And you don't have to pick anything long or complex. Even something like a 30-second news clip or a scene from your favorite show can work. Just play it, listen closely, then say the exact same thing, word for word, sound for sound. Try to match their speed, their feeling, and even where they breathe. It may feel a bit strange at first, but it really works. You're literally training your ears and mouth to work together.
Yes, and if you're wondering what kind of content to start with, go for something slow and clear. TED Talks, children's shows, or even English learning YouTube channels are great for this. Repeat one sentence over and over until you feel you've got the intonation and rhythm right. Then move on. This practice helps you hear how English flows. It's not just about single words, it's how the words connect.
And another tip, try recording yourself while shadowing. Then compare your voice to the original. It's like holding up a mirror to your speaking skills. You'll start to catch small differences in how you pronounce things or where your tone shifts. That's where real improvement happens. It's also super motivating to hear your progress week by week.
Totally agree. So, if you're someone who feels stuck in your speaking or feels your accent is getting in the way, shadowing can give you that push forward. It's practical, easy to do, and best of all, you're learning directly from real English speakers. So don't just learn what they say, learn how they say it. That's the secret to sounding more natural.
So we've talked about the power of shadowing, but here's another game changer, recording yourself. Seriously, this one can be eye-opening. When we speak, we often think we sound one way, but when we actually hear ourselves, it's like, wait, that's how I sound? Recording your voice helps you spot small things, like mispronounced sounds or flat intonation, that you don't notice while speaking. It's one of the best ways to practice English speaking with real awareness.
Absolutely, Ryan. And the good news is, you don't need any fancy tools. Your phone's voice recorder is more than enough. Or you can use free apps like Voice Memos on iPhone or Easy Voice Recorder on Android. Just choose a short English script or even read a paragraph from your favorite book. After you record it, listen back and compare it with how a native speaker would say it. That's your English self-assessment moment.
Right. One way to really make progress is by picking a sentence from a YouTube video or a podcast, recording yourself saying it, and then playing both versions back to back. Ask yourself, do I sound natural? Am I stressing the right words? Does my English accent sound flat or expressive? You're not trying to copy perfectly. You're training your ear to recognize the difference. Over time, your brain adjusts, and your pronunciation improves naturally.
Yes, and it's not about being hard on yourself. This is a learning tool, not a test. At first, it might feel weird or even embarrassing to hear your voice, but stick with it. You'll be surprised how quickly you'll start noticing improvements. Think of it like a mirror for your voice. It helps you build confidence by tracking your progress week by week.
Exactly. And here's a cool tip. Try recording yourself reading the same sentence once a week for a month. You'll actually hear the change. Your pacing gets smoother, your pronunciation sharper, and your confidence stronger. It's one of the easiest ways to measure your growth. That's why we always recommend this method to learners who want to practice English speaking on their own.
And if you're using short dialogues, even better. Record one line at a time, then check your version with the native audio. You'll start tuning into things like natural pauses, stress, and connected speech. So don't wait. Grab your phone after this episode and try it. It's simple, it's free, and it's one of the best ways to boost your spoken English from the comfort of your home.
Now that we've explored how recording your voice can boost your skills, let's get into something a lot of learners overlook: stress, rhythm, and intonation. English doesn't sound musical by accident. It actually has a beat, a kind of rhythm. And some words or syllables are naturally louder, longer, or higher in pitch. That's what we call sentence stress. It's what gives English its natural flow and makes it easier to understand.
Exactly. In English, we don't speak each word separately like a robot. We connect them. We stress the important words, and the less important ones are said more quickly. For example, in the sentence, "I want to go home," the words want and home are stressed. That's where the rhythm comes in. Understanding this English-speaking rhythm helps you sound more natural, not flat or stiff.
Right. And intonation is like the melody in your voice. It goes up and down depending on the mood or meaning. If I say, "You're coming with us?" with my voice going up at the end, that's a question. But if I say, "You're coming with us?" with a flat or falling tone, that's more of a statement. This English intonation changes how your words are received, even when the sentence is the same.
Yes, and once you start noticing this, you'll hear it everywhere, on TV shows, in conversations, even in music. A fun way to practice is by repeating short sentences and exaggerating the rhythm and stress. Try this one. "I didn't say he stole the money." Depending on which word you stress, the meaning changes. It's a great way to train your ear and tongue together.
And you can even clap or tap out the rhythm to help your brain get used to it. Like in the sentence, "She's going to the store," we stress going and store. It's almost like a drum beat. Practicing this way makes your speech smoother, and people will find it easier to follow you. Plus, you'll feel more confident knowing your tone and stress match native patterns.
That's the goal. Clear and confident communication, not sounding perfect. When your intonation and stress are right, even if your grammar isn't 100%, people still understand you. So start small. Pick one sentence, listen to how a native says it, then copy the flow. Over time, this will become second nature, and you'll start speaking English in a much more natural, expressive way.
Now that we've gotten a feel for rhythm and stress, let's shift gears and talk about individual sounds. This is where a lot of learners struggle, especially with the tricky English sounds that don't exist in their native language. For example, the TH sound in words like think or this. Many learners pronounce think like sink or this like dis. That tiny change can make a big difference in how you're understood.
Absolutely, and it's not just th. There are lots of vowel sounds that can be confusing too, like the difference between ship and sheep. One's a short vowel and the other's long. Mix them up and you could be saying something totally different from what you meant. These English pronunciation sounds can be tough, but once you identify your weak spots, it gets easier to improve.
Here's a tip that helped me when I was learning another language: the IPA, or International Phonetic Alphabet. It shows you exactly how every English sound is made. It might look strange at first, but it's a super useful tool. You can search a word online followed by IPA and see the sound breakdown, or use apps that play the sound and show you the mouth position. Those visuals are a game changer.
Totally. And those pronunciation apps, Many of them let you record your voice and compare it to a native speaker. That's gold for English self-assessment. You can pick just one or two sounds to focus on each week. Maybe one tricky consonant like R or V and one vowel like I or E. Start small and build from there. You don't need to fix everything at once.
Also, watch native speakers' mouths when they speak, especially in slow or educational videos. You'll notice how their tongue moves for the TH, or how the lips round for sounds like ooh in food. Mimic those movements in the mirror. It feels weird at first, but this kind of practice really sharpens your English pronunciation over time.
The goal isn't to sound exactly like a native speaker, it's to speak clearly and be understood. Once you're aware of the sounds that give you trouble, you can tackle them head on. Think of it like building your own sound toolkit. Every time you master a new sound, you're leveling up your communication. And trust me, people will notice the difference in your clarity and confidence.
Now that we've covered the key sounds, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: speaking slowly and clearly. A lot of learners try to speak fast to sound fluent, but here's the truth. Speed doesn't equal fluency. When you slow down, you have more control over your pronunciation, and you're less likely to trip over your words. It gives your brain time to catch up with your mouth.
Exactly. I see this all the time. People rush through their sentences and end up mumbling or mispronouncing words. It's much better to focus on clear English speaking first. When you speak slowly, you can actually hear yourself and correct small mistakes on the spot. And listeners appreciate it too. They're not judging your speed. They just want to understand you.
One trick I recommend is practicing a sentence slowly. Really stretch it out. Feel how your tongue moves, how your lips shape the words. Then say it a bit faster. And again, a little faster. This is how slow English practice naturally builds fluency. You don't need to rush. The more you repeat this way, the smoother and more automatic your speaking becomes.
And don't forget, speaking slowly doesn't mean speaking like a robot. Add natural pauses, expression, and rhythm. Use your hands if it helps. The key is to stay relaxed. It's like learning music. First, you play the notes slowly, then you build up the tempo. That's how you eventually speak English fluently with confidence and flow.
Here's something fun to try. Pick a short dialogue, maybe from a show or a YouTube clip, and read it aloud slowly first. Focus on clarity, then speed up just a little each time. It's a great way to train your pacing and get used to clear English speaking in real conversations. You'll start to feel the rhythm naturally after a few tries.
So remember, slow is smooth, and smooth becomes fast. Fluency isn't about racing, it's about connecting. Speaking clearly lets your words land the way you want them to. And over time, your natural speed will catch up with your confidence. That's how real, lasting fluency is built.
Now that we've covered a lot of techniques for improving your accent, let's talk about one of the most important habits you can develop: daily English practice. The key here is not to practice random words in isolation, but to use real-life sentences. For example, instead of just saying hello, practice how you would introduce yourself in different situations. This way, you're practicing real-life English, and it feels more natural when you're in a conversation.
I completely agree. The more you practice everyday phrases, the better. For instance, try learning how to order food at a restaurant or how to talk about the weather. These are things you'll actually use. If you can say something like, "I'd like the chicken sandwich, please," or "It looks like it's going to rain today." With confidence, then you'll feel much more prepared in real conversations.
Exactly. And don't just think about grammar or vocabulary, focus on spoken English habits. For example, when you wake up, you can practice saying something like, "Good morning, how are you today?" Or, "I'm feeling a little tired this morning." These simple sentences can be practiced daily, and it makes speaking English feel more like second nature.
Another trick I suggest is reading aloud for about 5 to 10 minutes every day. Pick a short article, a blog post, or even a page from a book. Focus on how the sentences sound when you speak them. This daily routine will help you improve pronunciation and get comfortable with the rhythm of English. You'll also start noticing words or sounds that need more attention, and you can fix them bit by bit.
You can even create your own mini dialogues to practice. Maybe something like, "Hi, my name is Ryan. What's your name?" or can you tell me where the nearest bus stop is? These are real sentences that you'd use daily. The goal isn't to memorize a script, it's to practice speaking naturally in a variety of situations.
The best part about practicing daily is that you're constantly improving without feeling like it's a huge task. By including these sentences in your daily routine, you're already improving your accent, fluency, and overall comfort in speaking English. It's all about consistency. Keep practicing and don't worry about making mistakes. You're getting better every day.
Finally, let's talk about something that can really help speed up your progress: accent improvement tools and feedback. There are so many great tools out there, and using them regularly can make a big difference. One that I love is Google Translate. It's not just for translating words. It also lets you listen to how words are pronounced. You can type something in, listen to the pronunciation, and try repeating it yourself.
That's right, Ryan. Another great tool is Elsa Speak. It's an English accent app that helps you fine-tune your pronunciation. It listens to your voice and gives you instant feedback. Plus, it has a variety of exercises to help you work on different sounds and accents. And don't forget Youglish. It lets you hear how words are used in real sentences by native speakers from different accents. You can see and hear how it's really done in everyday conversations.
I can't emphasize enough how important feedback on pronunciation is when you're improving your accent. It could be from a tutor, a friend, or even AI tools. The key is to get honest, constructive feedback. If you can, try to record yourself, compare it to native speakers, and then ask someone, like a teacher or even a language partner, to point out areas that need improvement.
And speaking of language partners, that brings me to one last tip: group practice. If you can, join a speaking club or find a language partner to practice with. Having conversations with others will push you to speak more confidently, and you'll get feedback that helps you adjust in real time. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Plus, speaking with others keeps the practice fun and engaging.
Exactly. So, to recap, use the right tools like Google Translate, Elsa Speak, and Youglish. Don't forget the power of feedback, whether it's from a tutor or from a language partner. And always practice speaking as much as you can, especially in real-life situations. The more you practice, the more your confidence will grow, and your accent will get clearer.
That's all for today, folks. We hope these tips help you on your journey to improving your English accent. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, progress takes time, but every little step counts.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. We'll be back with more tips and tricks next time. Until then, keep speaking clearly and confidently. Have a great day.